Hello, welcome back to Two Kims One Pod. I'm Peter Kim.
And I'm your other Kim, Unji Kim.
That's right. And we are back at it. It feels like the satellites have gone down. Unji's Wi-Fi had to be rebooted 5 times. So yeah, we're getting older and more technologically sparse. I don't know if you guys are thinking about it, but I'm constantly thinking about Starlink and how many satellites they have up. And it's a little too. Okay, we're gonna go straight into conspiracy corner.
Yes. It's crazy.
Let's dive in.
Because literally, I was just talking about this with a couple of comics, like how China is actually sending men into space, but their space station is on the literal dark side of the moon.
Cool. So we can't see them.
Yeah.
We could never see them.
And I'm like, and also there's a part of me that's just like, come on, China. Like, come on. Like, don't live up to the expectation. Like, don't meet the stereotype.
They're killing it.
Yeah, I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Like, let's be a surprise. Let's let's be forthcoming. Let's be the friendliest people in the skies, you know? And instead, they're absolutely building on the dark side of the moon. So when I was saying this, because I've been, a Chinese nationalist, like, truther since 2008, when they started colonizing Africa. And
Old school. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I think there's, like, if you go to the Brookings Institute webpage, like, web page, I am old.
Very old. You have to reboot your Wi-Fi 5 times.
I just kept, like, checking the speed every single time, Anyway, so when I was telling this to a comic at the show, he was literally like, well, maybe it's because they're not actually building anything. They're just saying that so that we think that they're in space because, and how would we know? Because they're on the literal dark side of the moon.
We can't get to the dark side of the moon?
I mean, not unless you're...
That's not that far from the light side of the moon.
But it's like...
The moon's not that big.
But, it requires, like, for you to smoke weed and listen to Pink Floyd. Like, whatever. Like, it's, this is what his point was. Like, he was like, maybe it's not that deep. And which honestly would feel like very much, how Americans... There's, like, a very common joke among Soviets, how Americans spent millions of dollars developing a pen that would work in space.
Oh, did we?
Yeah.
The space pen?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Like the one that in Seinfeld.
Oh, I remember that, where it's like back upside down and you can still write or whatever.
Yes.
I'd like a pen a Bic that works on Earth, on terra firma, okay?
I don't mind. But like it's and the Soviets, they used a pencil. And so like it's a very
brilliant. We're wasting a lot of money.
But it's like it would that if this thing that the comic was saying about the Chinese government is true, then, it would be very much a solve like that, right? Like we don't have the money to do this, but it foments the correct amount of anxiety and this stuff around sort of nationalist like tendencies out in space now because we're being territorial in space over the moon. And
I haven't heard of this. I feel like is this like proven that they have it or?
Yeah. It's like, it's very much like, it's like a thing in the space community.
Oh, okay.
In the space community.
Either way, it's working for us because we don't care about it. So whatever money they're using to propaganda their space station on the moon, we're not doing anything about it. We're not going anywhere near the moon. We don't care. We're going straight past the moon to Mars.
We're going to Mars. We're colonizing Mars. So good luck over there.
Good luck. Yeah.
But it was
good luck and good riddance.
Like literally, this guy was saying this. I was just like, typical Americans. They're not even willing to, like you're so afraid of losing. You're like, no, it can't even be true. Like that's the conspiracy. And I was like, you should listen to this pod. I mean,
you'll pick up a lot of nothing on this pod. Anyway, yeah, so I do worry about the satellites going down because, just evidenced by the way we try to boot up this podcast today. We are not in the same place. We're not in the same, even if we're in the same, I guess if we're in the same place, we could locally record things. But once the internet goes out, we're done. So let's enjoy it while we have it, folks.
So wait, when you're thinking about like worrying about it, like what do you envision happening here?
Like full blackout back to the like Pleistocene type of situation. You know what I mean? Like it's going to be I don't think it's just going to be one thing. It's going to be
grid,
a cascading of things, you know.
Yeah. We must be on the very similar TikTok because like it must be the same sort of TikTok where it's like a lot of like CIA agents are on podcasts.
That's not me, but I think I'm just like planning towards that. My anxiety is so high that I'm already thinking into CIA.
Like
I'm thinking like a intelligence officer. Because
that's like my conspiracy talk is all like supposedly coming from people of authority. That's like they're all like I'm a ex-CIA operative who's like giving information about like the greatest national security vulnerabilities that the U.S. has, and I'm always
please do tell. I don't know any of this. I'm not on that side.
Yeah. No,
what do you know?
Well, this Skylink very specifically, like if there was
Starlink.
Sorry. If it was ever.
Well, it's got like 40% of the satellite real estate up there.
So like
apparently.
if the actual greatest vulnerability is the U.S. like power grid, and so once that happens, like there is no way to basically
reboot it
because it's like all fractured anyway because there's not like a uniform thing. So like basically we'd be fucked and sort of like in a chaotic, like, you know what I mean? Like,
well, we have different power grids. We have like 3 major ones or 4 major ones, and then there's like a West Coast version, East Coast. Texas was on that, like, remember that's why Texas froze, because they were on some kind of central grid that like they didn't want to be part of some national thing, because they're like, fuck federal shit, you know, we got our own, and they got fucked.
Well, it's very specific.
Not to laugh at the people who struggled with that situation, but
because it was like during because it was the AC, so they don't want to be on California, right? They don't want to like siphon off California.
They don't want to. Exactly. Yeah. They're like, we don't want to owe California shit. We're independent of California. And we were like, okay, nice try. Okay, good luck.
But like, so it basically, this guy was just saying that like banking systems, blah, blah, blah. Like it would just be, especially if it was like a full out attack, like if it was a coordinated attack, that there currently is nothing in like U.S. operations to combat that or even put us back online.
Yeah, it's pretty clear we don't have a lot planned.
Yeah.
Just seeing how this election went down, it showed the hand of the government.
Wait, by the way,
we're really just like hanging on by a thread.
Did you happen to listen to the latest ep of the Ezra Klein show?
No. What was the ep?
I'm sorry to spend so much time on this pod talking about another pod, but it was maybe the best breakdown of what's happening and what happened in the election that I've heard from the Times and the I would call it the sort of establishment liberal media. Okay. And it basically broke down our fundamental difference in our tactics being this inherent trust and belief in organizations and not. And how Democrats are now on the side of this like sort of conservative, because we are the establishment, right? Since basically the boomers, when the Dems were the ones that were protesting and pushing for like the establishment to change, and now that is the banner under which conservatives like operate. Yeah. And it was very, very interesting about very specifically the groupthink that's occurring inside the liberal base, the coalition that is not working anymore, that's fracturing. It was maybe the greatest breakdown of it, like how the progress and the inroads that the conservatives did in blue areas that are governed by blue, like governments. So like cities, right? Basically, bastions of liberalism, college towns. That's where Trump didn't even bother campaigning much. There was not that many ad dollars that were spent there because he was like, well, what's the point? The greatest inroads. And the reason being here, that inside of the episode that they posit, is that it was one of those things where the liberals were literally watching blue government not work. That this belief in the organizations and in the establishment was not working. That like the actual thing was not operating well. So why believe in it?
Why would they vote for it?
Why would they vote for it? Like they're literally watching immigration not work. Crime is going up. Right? Things are more expensive and they are not making more money.
Yeah. So why not give Trump another try?
Because things were better.
Yeah.
So like
Makes
it makes sense.
I'm excited. I'm excited to make some more money, for comedy to be better. I'm sorry for women's bodies and gays that will get killed in the streets, but it'll be cheaper. It'll be cheaper to live.
I mean,
And
like
here's
ultimate.
what. That's what we want. We want cheap. We want the cheap.
I mean,
okay, we don't want
ultimately,
expensive stuff.
it
We
was
want our
basically-
McDonald's to be $5.99 again.
It was basically that identity politics is always going to lose to class.
And no one cares about identity politics on that other side. They don't have any other identities. It's just white. There's no, even people who are not white, they are white. They're
proximity to, yes.
It's
absolutely.
colonialism,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like it's just like servile, you know, like conquered people. You know, what are you gonna do? It swung this way. It has to be.
It has to be.
It has to be this way. There's no other way this could have gone. There's no way, like, we lost from the beginning, you know, like, and I think we have to really, like, put our, we have to, like, start getting ready for Star Wars. Okay. It's not gonna be wars on Earth anymore. Like this, we're gonna get past this. It's gonna be a bigger thing we have to worry about.
Wait, what are you talking about?
Than racism. You know what I mean? Like, let's give me a break.
What do you mean Star Wars? Like we're like it's like gonna be like Star Trek.
Like when the Starlink again, back to my Starlink theory. Like once they start taking out satellites and blacking out certain areas, you know, that's how you fucking win wars. Now you don't need to fucking blow things up anymore. You squeeze people out and then put them back into the dark ages. It's beautiful. You don't have to waste any. You don't have to like ruin the skies. You could just like have an entire country die because they're disconnected from power and water. Gorgeous. No more bombs.
And nature wins. Nature heals. Nature heals.
Nature always wins, honey. Anyway, how was this week for you? How's the week been? I mean, amongst the doom and gloom, you guys, we keep living. You keep moving forward, even when the skies fall and we go back to the dark ages. There's gonna be a stage. There's gonna be an amplified space. There's gonna be community. We're gonna be trading rocks back and forth. Bring it. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere.
We'll have little the shiniest trinkets. We'll sell our rares. We'll learn to.
You know, and like fucking spit shine a shell, and I'll be like, ooh, look at this. And then those who have a little more than others will come and adorn themselves with my spit shine shells. And the story keeps going. It's a never ending story, folks. All right? Let's go.
Let's go.
I for one am ready. I am embracing the new.
Oh yeah,
world.
I'm prepping my core to start to learn to hunt, skin, and tan the hides of animals, of possums, of rats, which in Chicago are huge. Plenty. You know, I'll have
no one in Chicago is going hungry.
No, they're pellets. I literally am bloated from this brunch and I've been having a lot of like constipation. I know you have the opposite problem, but I'm very constipated a lot. That's my thing that happens with like gluten and stuff. So I've been Miralaxing.
Is that a stool softener?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I have it from when I was gave birth because anesthesia makes you very constipated.
Okay.
And so like if you ever have had surgery, like that's like a big thing. One of the most painful things I've ever given birth to was the shit that I gave birth to after my second.
Your
Remember?
second kid?
Yeah, my second. Like where it came out in the shape of a bagel.
Yeah, that's great with a hole in the middle.
A Bialy, I'm sorry.
I mean, the human body is ready for incredible things, you know?
But like, so
The
actually,
magic of breathing and breath work can really enlarge your orifices to megalithic amounts.
It was literally the only thing I've actually given birth to. But I've been Miralaxing and like truly nothing is happening. The Miralax was not Miralaxing, you know, as the children would say. And
so what's been going on this week? You're not giving birth this week, but have you been like, you said gluten? You've been eating more than the usual amount of gluten?
so this is the thing. You know how Halloween occurred, right? And
A month ago.
and my son had a garbage bag full of candy.
Oh God, no.
So I've just been working through it. Like I like right around 10 o'clock. Now it's become a habit, right? Because it's been over a month. So it's like a thing that I do now. So like basically at 10 o'clock, I would just eat like 10 bars of candy, like mini bars of candy.
Damn.
Like,
Throwing it down.
but they're all mini. They're all mini.
Yeah, they're all small. So you're like, this is not bad.
It's not bad.
Cut to you sitting around 10 opened wrappers and dirty fingers.
It's like always like because you like categorize, they like put them all in like little Ziplocs. So I get one Snickers, one Twix, and one Haribo, and then the next round is a cracker.
I think the Haribo is really fucking you up because the Twix, the other two are like, and then the Haribo is not like the other.
But the thing is,
I feel like the stomach is having an issue.
But it like I use it like a palate cleanser for the next batch.
Like a ginger and wasabi.
Because it's like kind of fruity. So then I do the next batch, and then
well, I guess like the fruit and the chocolate kind of works, like strawberries dipped in chocolate.
Yes, it's like
situation.
chewy. Yeah, and then I do my next round, which is like a Reese's, Baby Ruth, or like another nutty thing that is available, and then I have another Haribo, and then I have my next three.
Right. I'm telling you, the palate might be cleansed, but the butthole is stuck.
So
I think that jelly, that the gummy is really like coagulating the poop into a bagel inside of you. I think that's what's happening. Try to cut the Haribo out, and maybe that'll help.
Well, today
keeping it all one consistency is a good thing.
Well, today I had a bunch of dairy and like I did actually have a bunch of bagels, and then all of a sudden my body was like relaxed. Like it was, I've literally shit out my whole body at this point. So I'm really.
Did that feel so good?
It did. It really did. Yeah, it feels great. I mean, like this is the thing. Like people are.
So you're having a great week.
This is what I mean. Like. Like
your week has been stupendous.
Wait,
some people are stopped up
because like there is something about. Speaking of all these like allergens and stuff like that, there's something about like the pooing that is like so cleansing. Have you ever heard Norm Macdonald tell the story about Omar Sharif? Because you know how Omar Sharif was supposed to be like a degenerate gambler.
Who is that? Is he a wrestler?
No. He's you're thinking of the Iron Sheik.
Who's Omar Sharif? The actor?
Yes. He's in Funny Girl. Lawrence of yeah, he's like a famous like actor of that era, and he also was. I don't know if you ever played early like Atari, or I think he might have been on Nintendo. Like he was one of the first video games. He sponsored poker, video game poker. It was like Omar Sharif poker, and Omar Sharif like this, and like it's because he was a gambler, and. There's a story that Norm tells about how he like went broke often, and he tells a story about Omar losing his he came out of Monaco, the casino there, came out of Monaco, went down the stairs of the casino to the Turkish cafe across the street with $1 to his name, and he bought a Turkish coffee with the final dollar, and when he spent it and finished his coffee, he put his hands up in the air and went, "I'm clean." to describe like for a gambler, like to hit that bottom, right? To keep gambling
to
and
go at zero.
to go at
go
zero.
to zero, and
That-
then he said, "I'm clean."
I'm clean.
Oh, I wonder what that means. Like he felt dirty.
I mean, it's like to me,
Like
it's
I'm
like
clean, broke.
you're done. You're like empty. And it's like to me, like there is something about shitting your brains out. Like when you're at the end of it, you're like, I am. Like, even though it's painful, it's like all the things, like it's disruptive to your life and all this stuff. But when you hit that final diarrheal thing where it's like nothing is coming out, but and then it's done, you are clean.
You're clean.
You're clean. There's like something about like there's no more.
You're at rock bottom.
You're rock bottom.
Yeah.
And like, this leads into my other conspiracy. I don't know if you've seen it about Jay Leno.
What? That he's dead? What? Tell me. Okay, I have one for you after this. It's
So
about Trump.
Jay Leno's, I've been seeing this that, after he's very recently gotten into two pretty significant accidents.
Yeah, the fire one, and then there was another one, right? Like
Where he
car accident
fell
or something.
Yeah, fell.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Or something, right?
Okay.
And he would like, there was like photos of him being very fucked up, like the side of his face.
Yeah.
And the conspiracy theory is that he is in deep gambling debt. And that this was him getting beat up.
No.
I mean,
I kind of see it.
You can kind of see it.
The double denim of it all. I kind of see it.
I mean,
wait, and that's why he works so crazy. Like that's why he's always working.
I mean, he's doing that comedy camp thing.
Comedy camp?
You haven't seen
Going
the
to camp?
ads?
No.
You haven't seen the ads? Yeah, it's
I've been hearing ads about him giving a Dodge Viper away at Pachanga Casino. That's why. He probably owes Pachanga.
He owes everybody.
Oh my god. That's such a horrible way to lose your millions.
Millions upon millions.
Wait, okay. So Jay Leno was known for, while he was doing
Tonight
Show, he would still tour.
Famous for not spending a dime of his Tonight Show money, which was millions upon millions, and that he lived his life with his wife, no children, and all of his cars only on his stand-up comedy money. Very famously.
So now that makes me think maybe that's a lie. And he's using that to cover up the fact that he had to keep going out on the road because he had no money left. Oh my god!
I mean,
that's why he's doing all these ads now.
I mean,
He's doing so many ads.
I mean, this comedy camp thing where it's like I guess
didn't see that one. So what is it?
It's like
3
basically
nights at a campground with Jay Leno.
So it's basically like him, Jay, and a bunch of others. Like it's like, remember the Rockstar Camp? Like where you go and you like get to hang out with a bunch of rock stars and like play with them and jam with them. It was like a thing that like rich people could do. It's basically that for comedians. So you get to like pitch and perform and they'll give you feedback. And they're doing it as like marketing it as like whether or not you're an open micer or like a more established comedian. Like
no. Are you serious? They're fucking taking advantage of open micers. This is a scam of the century. How much is it?
I do not know. I dare not click.
Yeah.
I dare not click.
Because you don't want to be in that.
I don't want to be in this algorithm. Get me out.
No.
I want to go back to the Chinese on the dark moon side. No.
I've already gave all my money to Second City. I can't give any more.
I'm clean.
Yeah, I'm clean. Title of that. I'm clean.
Like, truly.
Wow. Okay, that does track for me.
I mean, this is the Bruno Mars of it all. Yes.
Bruno, a lot of them. Oh my God, that is so fucking sad. That's so much fucking money that NBC threw at him that he just threw back into the casinos.
But I mean, also, like, I'm seeing this come up a lot in sets now, out in these streets of comics.
What do you mean? Talk about Jay Leno?
Gambling. Because of
gambling as a subject. Is it because of like Sports Kings or
yes,
DraftKings or whatever?
Yes.
Okay, so California, it's illegal. So like we don't have that. But that I know. It's like one of the only states that doesn't have online betting.
Okay, so this is a state that actually cares about its citizens.
Hello. See, this is what I'm talking about. You guys, 2 episodes ago or last episode, we were saying, get out of your state, honey.
You were really preaching California supremacy over there. Yeah.
They're not looking out for you. Like, okay, so Eric and I complain about this all the time because Eric watches stats, like sports stats, like crazy, but he never does like fantasy sports.
Sure.
And I was like, why don't you do fantasy sports? He was like, it's so much to blah, blah, whatever. Like, I'd rather just put like a bet on something that I know, like, from like sports betting or whatever.
Okay.
But I can't do it because in California it's illegal. I would have to cross into Nevada in order to do it. And like, when am I ever going to do that besides going to Vegas, you know?
Right.
So
which would be the greatest evidence of a problem. Yeah.
To drive all the way to the state line just to be like on your phone.
Yeah. I mean, they go back, you know what I mean? Yeah.
So I was like, why don't you just say you're a Nevada resident and then do a fake address and then do it in California? And he was like, no, you can't even connect to it if you're in the state of California. You can't even connect to the thing. And I was like, oh, that's fucking crazy.
That's a nanny state, baby, and I want to suckle at that teeth. Thank
yes,
you.
Give me that nanny titty.
Yes, I don't know better. Like, protect me from myself. Like,
I mean, that's so true. What's Illinois like?
Free. I mean, I'm in the ad for Illinois Lotto. Like, that's me.
No, I mean, we have lottery, but I'm talking about sports betting.
Yes, I mean, it's gambling. Period.
You have it?
Yes.
Oh.
No, okay. The ad I'm in is for the Illinois Lotto. Phone edition. So it's an
Shut up. There's a phone edition. You could, but
it's an app.
Can you? How?
It's an app.
You can't buy with credit card. Can you?
An app. I have no idea. I don't know how it works. I'm just in the ad for it. But
because it's illegal to buy lottery tickets with credit cards. You have to buy in cash.
Girl, I don't know. I just know that in the ad, the ad is me putting my child to bed. I like close the door and then I light up my phone.
Oh
I go,
my God.
And I start clicking.
Ding, 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 ding.
And I start gambling away my family's money.
Your 401k.
Yes. They're never going to college. It's just me going.
And it's just easy from your phone.
Mm-hmm.
That's so dangerous because gambling is a sickness. It's like
it's
addiction.
It's addiction.
Yeah. Oh
like, I mean, like, seriously. And like,
this is how they're getting us.
I'm seeing it much more. I'm seeing it in. I'm telling you, I'm seeing it pop up in sets.
Thank God I don't have this sickness.
Thank God.
Thank God, because I would. Well, I've seen it. I've seen what my family did, so I'm traumatized. I'm PTSD from gambling, so I have a very like bitter taste.
Yeah.
To gambling, and for me, if other people, I don't give a fuck. Like, do whatever you want with your life, but just for me, I have fun when I go, but I go and play. I don't gamble. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I pay for entertainment. I think about it as like an hourly rate, like a prostitute.
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the more luxurious the casino, the higher the rate. Absolutely, yes. The better the buffet. You know what I mean? The better she tastes. Yeah, I do. The only time I've ever gambled, I did win. Right, it was a penny slot. Mm-hmm. In the first push I did on the slot, I made $500.
Wow.
It was a penny slot. I put in $1.
That's how they get you.
Pushed one, and it just came ding, ding, ding. And I didn't know what was happening. I'd never gambled before. We were literally walking through Caesars, and I was like, I should do this. When am I ever going to be here?
Of course. Boom.
Ding, ding, ding. And let me tell you, the way that I felt.
The feeling.
I knew immediately this was a dangerous feeling.
Did you feel like God?
It's free money.
Yeah.
Like, what are you
the panacea.
Like, what? I mean, literally, that's why Asian people like buffets, because it feels like free food.
Yeah,
like you're winning. Like, yeah, this is it. Like, I don't. It felt like such a dangerous feeling. This is exactly what
I was talking about with TikTok. I texted you, right? So I made.
Yes. What happened?
Okay, I'll just tell you guys because I was gonna keep it not a secret, but I did a video. Like, okay, so we were talking last week, like leftist gangpe.
Yeah.
And so I was like scrolling and I saw this like dumbass video of this girl, this conservative girl. Her thing is called non-lib take. And she makes videos about like non-lib take number 47. Like being a trad wife is actually making yourself, like more godly and blah blah blah, or
More
whatever,
godly.
I don't know. Who cares?
Yeah.
She's saying some like crazy conservative stuff.
Yeah.
And one of the her videos was, non-lib take number 41. Liberals don't know that conservatives have a secret code that we share with each other and only each other know. And that's how we tell each other we're conservatives out in the real world. And these secret codes were, driving a pickup truck, having an American flag in your profile, saying that you're moderate. I know. Crazy. Like listening to Andrew Tate and blah. And I was just like,
bitch, just a
these
stage
are
aside. That's
fucking dog whistles, okay? Yeah. Like, what are you fucking saying? So, like, I just, like, made fun of her saying, we see you, bitch. Like, this is not a secret code. And then that went crazy viral.
Yeah.
And it's now at 2.6 million views.
Oh, my God.
I know. Like, the leftist scampe. We were talking, I was just like, okay, what the fuck? Did not, and you know how things go viral. It's like, so whatever. Mm-hmm. Like, you don't really know what's going to go viral.
You have absolutely no idea. Yeah.
It's like the lottery, right? And much like the lottery. And this happened literally a day after I signed up for the TikTok creators program.
Fun, yeah.
It's if you make a video over a minute, it's eligible for like money back or whatever.
Right.
Not money back. I'm not spending money on it, but like you get money from like,
you get money per view
if things go over like a certain amount. Mm-hmm. So this went over a certain amount, and I'm sitting there and it goes, you've earned $2,000, and I was like, what? For what? And it was for that video. It's the qualified views on that was like 1.9 million views or something.
Wow.
So like, and what I think qualified means like one per view, not one. You can't view it twice. That doesn't count. So anyway, you like a unique view. So it came out to $2,000, and I was like, what the fuck? That's nuts. And then I realized how like great that made me feel. Remember, I texted you. I was like,
yes.
"Oh, I just made $2,000. What the fuck is this?"
Yeah.
At a time where like I'm not making any money as a writer or like an actor or a comedian. So I'm like, "What the fuck?" And then I realized, oh, this is how they're getting us.
Yes.
This is the casino. This is the modern day casino.
It's
because you're not gambling, but you're not gambling with your money. You're gambling with your time and your soul.
Yes.
And these bitches are stuck
because you see winners
trying
everywhere.
To make the videos
you see
over
winners
and over
everywhere. It's like you're at the carnival and you just see motherfucker after motherfucker with the huge toy around their neck. Mm-hmm. That's what you're seeing. You see winners everywhere. Like you'll hear creators say it, like that are huge creators say it all the time. You just have to keep posting, and it's like,
yeah, duh. That's what it is. And that's what's happening on that dark side of the moon. It's TikTok is up there in the dark side of the moon, controlling all, not just Americans, the entire world's youth, and completely disrupting their lives to become creators. Or even you can be a creator. You can break out and you can be an entrepreneur. Capitalism. And you get a little taste of this money. I got a little taste of this money. People who are like hotter and whatever are getting uber taste of this money. Like people who have like hundreds of thousands of followers, right?
Yeah.
So now they're doing TikTok shop and blah, blah, and trying to make as much money out of TikTok as possible because they see that it pays. But what they don't realize is that this is not a sustainable way to make money because you can't sit here and constantly be putting up videos all the time because A, time is not unlimited and like money, and B, this is not something you could count on. But people are like quitting their jobs to become like TikTok nurses or whatever the fuck. and sure, it's paying out in the short term, but I guarantee you this is a centralized system. China, not to bring it back to China, but it always does. It always comes back to the central kingdom, the middle kingdom. They have us on a digital yoke.
Yeah.
And
they really do.
Not me, because I'm not making a living on TikTok, but like people who are, they can't. They're now becoming like laborers.
I mean,
1099 laborers. They
So
have nothing else to do but make this fucking TikTok and like.
you got to
Oh
do
my
it's content.
God.
Like
Oh
you're
my
like it's not a Gucci wallet anymore. It's content.
You're effectively a battery.
You have to like your little fingers are not sewing together little wallets to be sold anymore. You are putting together putting a
Something
selfie light.
that someone's gonna
Yes.
scroll by.
Absolutely. Isn't that fucked up?
It's so fucked up, and I did not realize until I made money that I was like, and like you said, how that made me feel, and how literally it felt like getting away with something.
Yeah.
Because I was like, what did I do? I just made fun of this conservative bitch, lefty skankpe, and as if that's gonna like, they might as well be coins. You know what I mean? Like roses or whatever. Like, and they are now. They're like devaluing it to the point where like people out there are like doing like lives to get those like roses because it cashes out as money. And
There's that guy
stuck.
The guy that was
They're stuck doing the lives every day. The going back into their thing like dark side of the moon.
I mean, there's that guy. You know what I'm talking about, right? The guy that was I think he was a part of, I forget which TikTok universe, but he got expelled for some sort of reason, cast out from this kingdom, and then he now just does lives and begs for money.
Jesus Christ!
Like he panhandles on TikTok
Live, right? Okay, so I was scrolling through TikTok Live, and do you get these TikTok Lives where it's these
tarot card?
No, not tarot card. I see those sometimes. There's like 4 or 5 like brown men. I could only call them brown because I don't know what nationality they are.
Okay.
But they're like
brown,
like Pakistani, South Asian-y type of brown. And they are literally just staring at they're in a field and they're just staring at the phone, and some of them are underground and only see their face from up here. And then some of them are like in like huge like not vases but huge like planters. They're like sitting there, just their eyes showing, and they don't move. They're just like it's crazy. And then there's like many of them like in different villages. Shut up. Go to my TikTok. I've done TikToks of them and does their green screen of them. They just sit there like underground like this. It's fucking wild.
Wait, what? And this is a live of this?
They do it live every day, all day, and they get money from people. People are just it's like panhandling basically, but they don't beg. They just sit there
and just stare at the screen.
Some of them are halfway underground like this.
And they don't engage
they do not
with
talk. They don't talk to each other. They just stare into the camera.
We are unwell.
And those guys, by the way, do you know how they're online? Starlink. That's how they're online. These like small villages all around.
For sure. Yeah.
And we're like, oh, we're doing it as a way to like modernize the world. No, you're doing it to fucking indenture the world to content slaves. Like, this is fucked up. I mean,
oh my God.
We're in a dark place. We're really in a dark place. There was one live where it was like one of these brown, like people underground, brown underground, I'm going to call them. But it was, okay, I had to press, this does not interest me. It was 2 young boys with their shirts off.
What?
Only shorts on. And like talking to the camera like, thank you. Oh my God, thank you. Love you. Love you. Thank you. Thank you. Love you. Love you. Like doing like basically bowing down every time someone gave a what's it called? A star or whatever, a rose.
Or a rose.
But the thing they were young boys shirtless.
I hate that.
It's so, and inherently there's nothing wrong with that.
Sure. Sure. I guess.
Right. there shouldn't, right? Like, you could be a boy and have your shirt off and it not be automatically a power struggle or whatever, but you know the internet. Like,
they know the internet. They know the internet. That's why
boom.
they're doing that.
That's exactly it.
That's the part that like really kind of is scary.
It's like, I guess it's like child trafficking without having to traffic them.
But who is putting them on the internet?
Their fathers, I guess. Elon Musk.
I mean,
it's scary.
like when we talk, because there used to be oil barons, there used to be sugar. You know what I mean? Like,
it's
when we talk about
barons.
like Africa, yeah, there were rubber barons, there were
robber barons.
King Leopold, yeah, robber barons. They're barons. I mean, like now, truly, I think it's tech,
data, content, and
I mean, absolutely.
I think it's veering into blockchain servers. Basically, it's slipping and sliding into the matrix. Basically, becoming like, okay, just keep the machines running.
Because the thing is, like, there is a part of this that is absolutely a tale as old as time, right? It is human capital, right? That at a certain point in history, always in these cycles, feels dispensable, right? Disposable human capital is like, right, it's a necessary sort of a fuel for the engine of capitalism. Like, let's, we need more bodies, pile on more bodies. Absolutely. This is not new. Why this feels especially eerie is the psychic cost. Because it's not just, we're not giving just our bodies here.
Oh, no.
We're not only giving our minds.
We're barely
and not
giving
just
our bodies, actually.
It's our soul. That's the part that is so eerie and, like, I think the most damaging to our society, culture. Like, there's something happening. And I'm telling you, as like a person that comes in contact with young people in a way that makes me worried for them.
Yeah, Eric says that all the time. He has high schoolers in his class, and he's like, they do not connect.
They do not connect.
And that's what they
I'm
say. The
you.
number one thing, the cure for depression or suicidal thoughts or even like psychopathy, like bad, is connection. And we don't have that anymore. So this is why I'm saying, like, if there is going to be a war on Starlink, I'm kind of here for it. Because, we've gone a little too we've gone past the tipping point.
Yeah.
I believe
it's being artificially sustained.
Yes.
There's nothing natural about this point in the historical cycle.
Yes.
Yes, it's very unnatural.
It's actually artificial. And it is intelligent.
I mean, because there's like a cycle here that, like, in history, it's not uncommon, right? Like, the parabola should be dipping down. We should be cycling out of this, right?
Yeah.
Like, it should be swinging back around again.
And
in this plateau sort of situation, we're circling.
Yeah.
And we're seeing it with the way that culture is responding. I mean, I was thinking about this, Peter, and tell me if this tracks. I feel like culture and society and norms have sort of plateaued over the last 20 years. Like, if I think about our way we grew up from the 80s to now, our lives are vastly different. Cultural norms are vastly different. Being gay, hitting your kids, like all these things around just mental health and cultural norms are so vastly different versus in 2000s to now. So people that are in their 20s, things have stayed relatively the same. You could not hit your kids then. You could not, they were on the internet then. There was there was this sort of open access to stuff. There was the idea of healing and being kind to each other. It was feminism was everywhere, being accepting of like gay people, like 2010s. You know what I mean? Like culture has kind of like plateaued.
Mm-hmm.
And now because of that, because we're not like, progressivism is like kind of not even, because real progressivism at this point would be about class, right? And now instead we're plateauing into these like various niches and quibbling over this stuff.
Well, yeah.
But it's plateauing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I feel like that is why like we're starting to see that dip back down into like, because young people are they're going to rebel against
Mm-hmm.
the establishment.
Mm-hmm.
And the establishment now is liberal. Colleges are very liberal. And they impede on like certain ideas and stuff. So like they're rebelling by being very conservative.
Mm-hmm.
And that is not how young people should be. They should be pushing us forward in a way like that's like it's like that's what's so weird about this relationship between young and old. Like they're afraid of making mistakes. They're afraid of being, I mean, I spend the beginning of most of my classes begging my students to make mistakes, to go out and be reckless.
Mm-hmm.
And
you could get sued.
I guess
You could get sued.
Yeah.
You should be careful. My teacher told me I had to go into a car after I drank just for a stand-up bit.
I mean, just like experience new things and meet new people. And make mistakes like out in the world, not just online.
Yeah,
not,
I bet
you know
that's
what I mean?
so
And they
hard for
refuse.
kids. I bet that's so hard for kids. Like I can't even imagine being someone who grew up without an analog experience. That's kind of crazy because we are the last of it. We are dial-up, so like we were the last of it.
And we watched it happen, right? We lived
I didn't stop it.
Like
I was like, all right.
Let's go.
Let's see.
I mean,
let's
and also
see how
like
far we
when
can push this, and we pushed it far.
Too far.
I think it's too far. It's gotten too far, and I do think some. I don't know about foreign nation, but some kind of coalition needs to take down some of these satellites, and I think then once we get into like a dark age. I think we will finally feel like, okay, we can restart. Kind of like you when you got the Miralax finally worked on you. The last drips came out. You were like, I'm clean. All right, folks, that's the episode this week. I hope you're feeling clean. And let us know if you have conspiracy theories of your own and you'd like us to discuss that. We're open to that because you know what? This is a brave new world, and
I mean, truly.
And
also like the way that this like pod has like morphed and like morphed back and then morphed back to it. Like there's a period in this podcast.
It's been a response to the times.
We are absolutely live, like responding.
Yeah,
like
of course.
And that is a part of this podcast. How about that? That's a selling point. We are living in the culture and responding to it as human beings.
Non-stop. This will be a historical record of the time.
This is what I'm saying. Yeah. We're not giving you a cut and paste, baby. We're not giving you a copy paste. No. We are giving you something live every week, a response to what's happening in the world.
An emotional, intelligent, guttural response. And some of you might not like it. It might not be your cup of tea. But send it to someone you don't like. How about that?
Send it to your enemy.
Yeah.
Send it to
your mother-in-law. Whoever you have a distaste for. All right. Thank you for listening. We'll talk to you next week. Bye.
Bye.